No. 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 I don't want to do this one. No. Fine. 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 What's good, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? JDaisy here. I really don't want to do this one. Mass Effect Andromeda review. Everyone and their brother has already said their thing. I've said a little bit of mine. I suppose we might as well get into it. I've taken some notes. I've played the game roughly 30 hours. And it is both as horrible as everyone says and not as horrible as everyone says. So you better buckle up. We're going to dive right into it. Before we get into it, though. As we get into it. Yeah, I've played about 30 hours of the game. And I really enjoy it. It's one of the most enjoyable games I've had in quite a while. That is not saying it does not have its cons. We will very much get into those. There hasn't been a game. So the way I game, personally, is I have a TV and I have a monitor hooked up to my computer. And on the monitor, I normally throw up like my favorite YouTubers. If I've watched all their recent videos, maybe like Netflix, something like that. Maybe Twitch if it's in a different mood. And then I play games on my monitor. And that's normally how I play most things, unless I'm recording for sound. I don't, in that case. This is the only game that comes to mind that I turn off everything else just to play it. Like, I solely focus on this game. Because it is if you don't, you're going to lose track of who you're talking to and why you're doing whatever. Like, you can't diverge your attention on this one. You'll just lose track of what you're doing, who you're talking to, why you're talking to them, what's going on. So, as far as, like, pulling me in, there's no other game that has even come close. Maybe a little bit with Mafia 3 when that one came out, but soon that was kind of thrown away. The whole time I'm playing this game, I cannot have anything else going on. Even if I'm having conversations, I can, like, be running around my ship, but I can't be talking to people, like, on the ship, because then I lose track of what the fuck's going on. So that I wanted to start off by prefacing that this game has had my sole attention when I'm playing it, and it's not been my sole attention to review it. I really had no intention to review this game, but I also said that, hey, this is my hobby, this is what I've chosen to do. I should review it. I should throw in my 2 cents. That's what this whole channel is about. So we'll throw in my 2 cents, and I'll try to stick to the facts, but of course I'll throw in my 2 cents. Let's just start with the top of my list. The graphics. Graphics are gorgeous. Oh my god, are they gorgeous. But, flip side, it's a 2017 game. You're looking at, 5 years, $40 million in development. It better be fucking beautiful. Now, we get to the thing that has turned everybody and their brother off, is the animations. Yes, there are animations that are weird. If someone turns around to talk to you, it looks really weird. Some people report that the lip syncing is off, but I never watch people's lips when I most of the time actually read the subtitles and listen. Like, I read what the subtitles are on. I also started the game with the subtitles off. That's really annoying to me as a 2017 person that games. But yeah, there are animations that are weird. My roommates who have popped in and watched me play the game quite a bit say that the running animation is weird, like if you're just running down a hallway. I haven't really had any issues with that. Of course, it's a third person, so I have a little bit of an issue with that. Nothing I can't work through, though. As far as other graphical issues, I've had a couple times where if you're looking at the sun, it'll kind of flash, like a sun flare type thing going on. But that was only if you were looking in that direction, and at the time I didn't need to be looking at that direction. I haven't had any of, like, the Assassin's Creed Unity where you just see eyeballs or anything stupid like that. But all the graphical errors I have had, all those silly animations, the sun flare, none of it has been so bad as to make me stop. I know a lot of graphics are very hit and miss subject for a lot of people, but nothing of those graphics has made me be, oh, this game's horrible. No, it's just stuff I live with. I can't think of a single fucking game off the top of my head that has came out week 1, day 1 with no graphical errors. It just doesn't fucking happen. And the fact that people are saying this game is the worst game ever because of that is, and they have other issues we'll tackle. Like I said, this is going to be a long one. I actually took fucking notes once I decided we were going to do this. I'm going to do it fucking right, is what I'm saying. This is a big game, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, graphics, there's only a few animations that I've had. Overall, there are a few odd animations that kind of make you chuckle. But nothing that has really brought me down. If NPC has afro hair, though, that brings me down. If they have afro hair, it glitches through the time and space continuum. There's one guy on the Nexus that I always stop and see because his hair is just doing whatever the fuck. In 2017, we cannot figure out how to do hair physics, apparently. That is just beyond our fucking capabilities. Every game, Witcher 3 had weird hair physics. Fucking every Assassin's Creed game ever. Hair and cloth physics are just the hardest things apparently to render. That's just a notice. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, spoiler for this is gonna have spoilers in it. I'll try to keep as little spoilers as I can. The reason I'm saying that is because I noticed that we're getting to the end of the opening scene for the video. But there are gonna be spoilers. I'm gonna talk about some stuff. As far as actual the audio is really well designed, I think. There are a few times I've had one major audio error. I was fighting a boss and the audio just cut out except for my gun, and when he fired it was an ungodly screeching loud noise. That's the biggest one I've had. What else? Other than that, all the guns sound alright. There's nothing really amazing. The sniper rifle, which is what I play with most, sounds beefy, sounds right. Assault rifles are alright. Shotguns, meh. But the sound design for the aliens, they don't speak their language very often. They speak most of the time English. The Sam sounds right. The only one that really bothers me is one of the main people you meet on the Nexus, the ship that you dock with that is like the colonization ship, the Nexus. It's where your ark, the ark that gets sent out with all these people, it docks there, and there's people there that you're trying to work with. And one of them is Kumail Nanjiani, who is a very, I think, well-known comedian. Very funny man. He has a very distinct voice, and they have decided to cast Mr. Nanjiani as one of the main people you have to talk to, and it breaks my fucking immersion every fucking time. Every time I hear him talk, I'm like, nope, no, that's not you. That's not this alien. That's Kumail Nanjiani. No. That's the worst thing I have. That really is the worst fucking thing I've had. There was another. I can't think. If people are too far away from you, if you start a conversation and somebody of your team chimes in and they're too far away, you just don't hear them. You just, like, if I didn't have my subtitles on, I would have no idea that they were talking. I feel like there's one or two other odd, they just sound different. Like they were almost filmed in a can or something. Audios, nothing horrible. Once again, there's nothing horrible there's nothing in this game that has just made me go, well, I fucking can't do this anymore. No, I haven't hit that yet. I'm still playing this game. I'm gonna fucking go with this game. This and Ghost Recon Wildlands are two games that I really want to complete. I also said about Mafia 3 though. But like, as far as games that have come out, like Sniper Elite 4 or fucking Dead Rising 4 especially, it's like, whatever, I don't need to finish this. This one and Ghost Recon Wildlands, I really want to finish. And this one has officially taken precedence over Ghost Recon. Just saying. Back to the list. This game, to me, has this really awesome Knights of the Old Republic feel. And I didn't think of that until there's Kumail Nanjiani. I didn't think of that until I was at work, and that as soon as that thought hit me, boom, that is all I can think about. That is what this game feels like. Once you get past the first little bit, it feels like KOTOR, the original Knights of the Old Republic, which is a game from my childhood. Like, you land on a planet, you get all these side quests, you're running around the planet, you get on your ship, like, it just feels like KOTOR to me. and I love it. I think that's what's drawing me in so hard. You know, the aliens, the humans, there's a war going on. Every side quest affects something else. Like, no, there's no easy choice in this. This Mass Effect game, and the fact that, oh, there's a really easy choice. Nope, no. Oh, there's the protest going on. We better stop that. Well, all they want is their families, which would slow down the cryogenic phase. Or we can shoo off the protest and everyone gets mad. Now we have to deal with that. There's no easy choices in this game, and I love it. I love it for that. But yes, it has a KOTOR feel to it, and I think that might just be me, but I really, really enjoy it. As far as the game mechanic, when you go to a planet and you scan the planet, that's a really, really shitty system in my opinion. Pretty much you just listen for your science officer to go, oh, anomaly detected, and you scan it, you find it, you shoot it with a gun, you click on it. It really feels weird. I really, really hate it. Another really, really shitty thing is the amount of loading screens in this game. If there's anything in this game that does make me want to stop, it is loading screens. Loading screens there's a shit ton of them, especially when you're traveling from place to place. Even on planets, opening doors. I just recently, last night, had it where I would try to open a door to like a hallway, and it would take a couple seconds of him messing on his tool just to open that door. Which was really, really weird. I've never ran into that, but there are a shit ton of loading screens. They're hidden really well, like your ship is flying from planet to planet, but you don't see your ship. That's also really weird to me. It's just like the camera pans. I really hate that, the camera panning, but there are a lot of those. So if you're someone that's easily angered by loading screens, you're gonna have a hard time, buddy. What did we got here? What else?
Might have been sweeping the vault.
Bittersweet they left the past. So by that I meant when I just wrote all these at work. I was working, wrote down but my brain was thinking about this. Bittersweet by leaving. I mean, it is really, really nice that they made this game, I think, and I don't mean to put words in the developer's mouth. They made this game for a new generation of Mass Effect fans. There's very little tie to the original Reaper incursion, Reaper and Geth incursion. And full disclosure, I didn't mention this at the beginning. I played the third Mass Effect and half of the first Mass Effect. Never played the second one. I don't think I finished the first one, but I finished the third one, all three fucking endings. And then a little bit of the first one and not the second one. But when I played the third one, I read a lot of the lore inside the game. I didn't read any of the books or any of that, so I get a little bit. And what was I saying? So it's really bittersweet to me that they left all that behind. It's bitter in the fact that they just tossed away pretty much all three of those games. Like, all three of those games could not exist, and this game would be doing just fine. You'd have to explain a little bit more the alien, why they're doing what they're doing, why they don't like each other, or something like that. But there's no, like, the Reapers are in our... No, they don't address any of that. And that's good and bad. And I think anyone that likes the franchise would probably acknowledge that once you told them that they're probably trying to bring in new people and keep the franchise alive and well. And I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. You gotta, if you want your franchise to survive the test of time, you cannot just, you know, expect that those old people, the older generation, you know, even older generation, that's talking 5 years ago, that those people will buy your game and like your game and continue to play your series. You have to bring in a fresh crop, especially if you're 5 years out, you have to bring in new people to keep your franchise going. Not from a money standpoint, but just from a understanding what's going on standpoint. Now, if I pick this, if I've never played any of Mass Effect, I pick this game up, I'm going to be a little bit confused, but I can figure it out pretty quick. Of what's going on. If they would have made this really tied in, people that didn't experience it 10 years ago would be very, very confused. And I think that's a very nice thing. It also, though, sucks because they threw away all that stuff. But not so hard as like Disney throwing away all the non-canon stuff. It's still there, it's just they never address it. And there's enough, I think, if you were a die-hard fan, you'd be really disappointed at that. There's enough for those casual fans like myself to go, okay, you know, all the stuff I learned isn't all thrown out, but, you know, I gotta learn a new system. So I really think that's worth mentioning. If you're a die-hard Mass Effect fan, yeah, you're probably gonna be a little disappointed. But I don't think the majority of people playing this are Mass Effect fans anymore. I think that's kind of them working with the day and age. Combat is very councilized. That is where this game falls. It's not a bad port at all. I really don't think it is. I had enough graphical layers for my option. Runs great on my computer, on my 2970s. Like I said, there's been few graphical errors. Can re-keybind everything. That's normally a good sign for a good port, just like a first benchmark test. I really haven't had anything that's been too off. But the combat is very, very simple. There's no crouch button. So when you get into cover, you just automatically crouch, and then you pop up and shoot. And if you want to cheat the system, you just get behind an undestructible cover and just cover fire, because you can still control it. That's really all there is. Not to say that the combat isn't dull. I have had some really good firefights in this game, and I have died via that. But it's very simplified. There's no crazy tactics going on. You can direct your team and what have you, but normally I just let them do their own. I know who is kind of a frontline attacker and who's a backline attacker. You figure that out pretty quick, and you complement that. Or in my case, you just pick your skill set and forget about the rest. They also have that, since we touched on skill set, they have this really interesting system where you can pick certain classes and then your skills joining to that. I have not fucked around with any of that. Sorry, I have not touched any of that. I pretty much set up my class. I've dived all my skill points into my one thing, my infiltrator, what I started off with, and that's all I've done. I haven't switched to like the soldier class or anything like that. I've just been rolling with the same thing. Skill points are handed out like fucking candy, by the way. I don't know how many times I've had to stop and, you know, level up either my character or the companion characters. I just auto level them up. Personally, I don't do too much with them other than talk to them. Also, since we're talking about combat, the augments are really awesome. I really like those. That's where you get like your, for me it's a shield and a singularity, and then I just switched over to have a helper robot. Those, you get 3 augmentations, and that's where you spend your skill points. And if we're talking about how I said this is like KOTOR, those augmentations are very similar to the Force. You have Force Push, and you have Force Pull, and you have Force Shield. Just saying, KOTOR. This might be usually KOTOR. And those are really fun. I really enjoy that. That's a fun little thing. And all the companions, some of the companions have their own Force ones. Like Cora, one of the first people you get, she will just like go invisible and hack slash everything in your way. That's really nice. And there's a few others that are like that. I think those are really fun. I do enjoy that. They're not really overpowered in my opinion. I've died plenty of times trying to use them, mainly because they're bound to 1, 2, and 3, and my fat fucking fingers apparently can never remember 1, 2, and 3. Other than that, they're awesome. You can order your squad around. I with Z and X, I think. No, Z and C, and then X recalls them. And I just key bound them to my side mouse button, so I don't have to move my fingers. I like to keep my WASD keys as free as possible, because I often get, like for me, WASD and then try to hit G to scan something, I'll often hit H, and I had to get rid of that because H opened up the game menu, and I was doing that way too fucking much. And he was moving on from my incompetence. And to everyone else's incompetence. The game is a little hand-holdy in some areas and not in others. And by that I mean it is a little hand-holdy when it comes to where to go for the next mission, or where you're supposed to go for that mission. And it's pretty much just follow the orange dot. Wherever the orange dot is, follow that. Whoever the orange dot is talking to, that's fine. That is okay in a sense of a game that is so large. You sometimes, like if I opened the galactic map and I didn't have the orange dot, I would have no idea where the fuck I'm going, because you have to go through all these loading screens to get there. So it's a lot easier to just follow the orange dot. I get that. It's a little hand-holdy though in some occasions. Also, the UI is very complicated. Like the research menus and the internal stuff, it can get very, just a lot to try and take in. And that's where I think they could have done a little bit more. I mean, the stuff pops up and explains it to you, but if you're like me, kind of ignore it and say, "Oh, I'll figure it out," and then you go, "What the fuck am I doing?" That's a little annoying. But the orange dot, like if you're have to go through like a building, it will put it at the front of the building, in the back of the building, which, you know, it's all right, and it kind of sucks at the same time. It kind of sucks that we have to be handheld that time.
Thank you.
It is what it is. I mean, I can't really say more than that. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. That's all I can say. Moving on. The world feels alive. Like when I first did my first review of Ghost Recon: The Wildland, I said the world just didn't feel alive. There was nothing that felt organic. In this game, the world does genuinely feel alive to me. Not so much the open lands, like they'll just be random creatures standing in the middle of the road and you hit them in their car and your car does nothing. But the ports and the citadel and even the little towns or outposts that you make, those genuinely feel alive to me. There's people talking, there's people having their own conversation. You can overhear these conversations that then pop up later. It genuinely feels alive. Your people on your crew, they just go do their own things when you leave port. Like, I had to go talk to my medical officer because she was drowning herself in a bottle. Had to go talk to her about it. Like, that just happened. I landed in port, she went off and do that. The world genuinely feels alive to me. And that, I really, really enjoy that. You'll be walking and then if you're on the jungle world, you'll hear birds and stuff like that. And then you'll see one fly through the air. It feels alive. It really does feel alive. And I think that's a great fucking thing. We already talked about that. So this gets a little confusing. How I said there was a shit ton of loading screens. Every time you want to get on your main ship, the main ship in this game is called the Tempest. Beautiful ship, beautiful fucking ship. Kind of confusing layout, but you know, you get used to it. Every time you want to get on it, it takes off at a planet side. And I really, really, really fucking hate that. I just need, like, sometimes I just want to go to my ship and talk to my crew. And I know why they do it. And look at that. If I just wanted to go talk to, we'll use Cora. Sure. If I want to go talk to Cora, I hit back to Tempest. I have a cut screen of the Tempest taking off planet, going into orbit. I have to exit that screen of the planetary select screen, go find Cora, talk to Cora, have her weird animation where she turns around and her hair does whatever. Come back, get on the galactic map, and if I was on the planet I was just on, I have to tell it to land back, and I have to go through a cut screen for the planet, for the game, for it to load, select my loadout, select my characters, and go again. I can't just get onto my ship and talk to my crew and then get back off. I know why they do it, because certain side quests need to happen in space so that you can be told where to go, but it really fucking annoys me. It's just a logistics thing. It's like, I don't need to take off every fucking time. I don't need 3 loading screens just to talk. Just 1 loading screen I would be tolerable. But no, you have to make me sit through 3 fucking loading screens just to talk to someone or check my email. Fucking, we're 2785 or whatever, and I can't just check my email on my fucking wristwatch. I have to go back to my ship. So if I get a mission that says check your email, I have to fucking take off to fucking orbit and then come back to deal with that email. That is one of the most annoying fucking things. That is one of the most annoying things. Yes, it's stupid, it's little, but like I said, if you're easily annoyed by load screens, this is gonna get you. There's a lot of load screens. The world is beautiful, but in turn, we have to deal with a lot of fucking load screens. I just think it's an ungodly amount of load screens. It's kind of like Skyrim, where every time you open a door, you have to go through a load screen. Makes sense? And that's where that and this next thing are where I have my biggest problem with this game. There have been, on several occasions, if I get in a battle or I'm just driving around and I die in a quote-unquote really stupid way. If I die via, like, driving off a cliff, walking off a cliff, crushing myself with an elevator, or just even once or in a while in battle, it cannot figure out that load save. The loading bar will get to the end, and it doesn't understand what it needs to do next. And I've had to actually exit the game, reload the game, try to reload that. It won't reload that, so I have to reload a previous save and have to go back through it. Granted, there are, like, if you're just exploring, the checkpoint system is very generous. But if you're in a dungeon, and that's what we'll call them, dungeon, the checkpoint system is fucking shit. If you're taking on a enemy outpost or dungeon, the checkpoint system is fucking shit. I have had several times, even just dying naturally, you know, to get shot, and reloading instantly, not instantly, but, you know, once you go through the load thing, you'll checkpoint at the very beginning. I've literally been one shot away from killing a boss, and I thought I could take the brunt of his attack, shoot him, and get him. I didn't. He literally was one shot away. I had to restart his entire battle over. I actually stopped the game and then came back 10 minutes later because I was so infuriated that there was no checkpoint system before that, because you have to actually follow him. It would be one thing if you just walked in, took care of him, and walked away. No, you fight him, he runs away, you fight him again, you run away, you fight him again. There's 3 different sections of it. Actually 4 technically, but 3 different sections of it. And I had to start it over every time. Oh, and then, like I said, it would just sometimes drop loads. Just autosaves would just be gone. Those are the 2 game-breaking things that really, really get me. Is the amount of loading screens, and then sometimes it drops loads. So my advice is always save manually. If you're about to go do something big, save fucking manually. That is, I think, where it falters. Just to kind of throw this all together. Also, the game has co-op. I have not touched a fucking single thing of it because I don't want it. I don't need it. It does not need to exist for me. This is a single player game. It does not need fucking co-op. Does not. And the fact that I can go through most of it without playing it is awesome. But every time I walk into a room, it tells me, hey, strike team is ready. Strike team is ready. Strike team is ready. Hey, fucker, you can play co-op. We want you to play co-op. That's why this needs a dedicated internet connection for you to play it. I don't know that for sure, but when you load the game, it says connected. So I'm guessing you need a connection for this game to play. And if you want me to instantly hate your game, is to do that. Do not make a single player game need to be connected to the internet to play. That is fucking retarded. And no, I don't mean that in a derogatory term at all. I mean it is utterly stupid beyond comprehension to say that your single player game needs an internet connection. It is fucking 2017, people. Yeah, so there I got a little mad. Anywho, no. Don't take this as a negative review. All the people that are saying it is a 9 out of 10 are lying. It's not 9 out of 10. All the people that are saying it's a 2 out of 10, this is all my opinion, like the entire video. Anyone that says it's a 2 out of 10 is all fucking lying. I think this is a solid 7 out of 10. If I had to put a score on it, 7.5. That's just the story is kind of typical. As far as I've had, there hasn't been any fucking like no, it's stereotypical bad guy, good guy. Shit ton of side quests will keep you very busy. Main story is meh at best. Graphics are amazing when they're not. They're kind of annoying. They're just annoying. There's not. It hasn't faded a black screen for me or anything. It's just annoying. There is general parts of the story that will make you wonder. Like, I do have general questions. You could argue that that's just shitty storytelling, but I don't believe that. So yeah, everyone that's saying that the audio and the visual stuff is just horrible and unplayable apparently hasn't played a brand new game ever. Week 1, day 1. It just is what happens, people. No game has had a perfect launch. Witcher 3 didn't have a perfect launch, and a lot of people say that's the perfect game of all time. It just doesn't happen. AAA, indie, whatever, nobody has a perfect launch. You can playtest all you can with $40 million, but you're still going to have a shitty launch. I'm sorry. Just going to happen. So yeah, 7 out of 10, 7.5. But yeah, we'll try and cut this. I don't even know how long. We've been going for a half hour. Holy shit. That's a little bit of a review. Oh, by the way, the sex scenes in this game don't exist. If you're going into this to bang blue aliens and zero gravity like some of us have, they don't show anything. They're just giggling. Sorry. As far as I know, I haven't seen fucking shit. And then again, I'm only romancing 2 people at a time. Got the one. We're doing alright. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to fucking playing. This game really has my attention. I really want to finish it. But yeah, this is my review. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of people in the comments telling me how I'm wrong and how I'm stupid and all this other stuff. Maybe some of you will agree with me. That maybe anyone will. Anywho, that's my 2 cents. You got your 2 cents? Throw it in the fucking comments. I love hearing other people's comments. Or hit me up on these social medias. They're all in the description box. Yeah. If you can't tell, I'm not enthused about making this because it's kind of one of them games that everyone has talked about. And the industry is divided when it comes to games like this. This is what happens when you try and buy off reviews. And it's not the first one that has done it. It won't be the last one. I can't argue with the people that do it for the reviewing sake, for the reviewers' sake. They got to make their money somehow. I can't say that if EA would have sent me a free copy if I would have been as truthful. It's a hard thing to question. Yeah, I would like to think so. That's the whole point of this channel, is to be honest with you guys and give you honest feedback. But they got to make their money too, man. If I had to blame anyone, it'd be the developers. You know, you don't need to buy off. Let your work speak for your work. Be like fucking No Man's Sky. Holy shit, there's a fucking comment none of us ever thought we would make. No Man's Sky got the worst reviews of fucking all time, with the most amount of hype. Worst reviews of all time. And they're still cranking out updates. Holy fucking shit, are they cranking out updates. They're trying to make their game decent. I think they're trying to win people back. I might even give it another chance. There's an idea. No, there's an idea. Probably not for a while, but we might come back to it. But yeah, I've rambled on enough. Thanks for listening, guys. That's my 2 cents. Let's hear yours. Drop down in the comment section. Remember, we're all in this together. Love you all very much. Can't wait to hear from you. See ya.